Over the last few weeks, I've made a lot of planes and blown a lot of stuff up with Create. Yeah, yes. But apparently that's not enough for you guys, since you want me to make an AC-130. You guys are gonna get me put on some kind of a government list with this stuff. So this is what I'm going to be building, and because I constantly feel the need to one-up myself, I've decided to make it on a 1-to-1 scale, which I feel like I might regret, but there's only one way to find out. Yeah, so I'm definitely already regretting making that decision, since this skeleton of the plane that I've made so far is a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. I found this really great reference photo online, and we're going to ignore the fact that it's extremely hard to read because it has no background and it's kind of distorted and stuff, but it's got all the relevant measurements here. So I converted these to meters, and then we all know that a Minecraft block is technically 1 cubic meter. So this plus this got me to this monstrosity. Normally I would use the physics infuser to convert this entire thing into a physics object so I could start building on it, but to use the infuser, I need to use the wand, and to use the wand, I need to select this entire thing, but that doesn't really work when it's a super irregular shape. I'd have to build blocks out around this, and that's just awkward. So I'm gonna try, for the first time, the ship assembler, which is supposed to be very easy to use, but I'm a little suspicious. From what I've seen, I just put it down right here, and then right-click on it. Oh, did it work? Did it get everything? Oh, well, that was easy. Maybe I am a ship assembler enjoyer and no longer a user of the physics infuser. Now that I got this as a physics object, I get to do a little bit of testing because, as you can see in, I guess, technically both of these extremely accurate photos, the AC-130 uses 4 propellers, which means I get to go back to using the propeller bearing instead of what I've been using recently, which is the thruster. And the propeller bearing's a little bit more finicky than the thruster, which is, you know, kind of cheaty and a little bit easy to use. I think this should be roughly accurate spacing for the propellers, so I just need 1 propeller on the front of each of these, and then every single propeller bearing is going to need a block in front of it to hold onto the sails, and then I think it's accurate to do 2 sails on each side, so I just need to, I need to orient these properly here, which is always the biggest pain. There we go, and then it should just need a creative motor behind it to eventually power it, and that should be good. Oh, wait, nope, I almost forgot. I need to super glue this together, and then if I click that, there we go. Now it's good. I just need to do this to the other 3. Wait, this is bugging out big time. Look at this. What? Why is it? It's showing there, but then when I place it, it's got to do with where the physics object is located, but that looks super buggy. It doesn't orient the sail block properly. There we go. All the propellers are set up. They're ready to go, which means it's almost time to do the test. The only problem is the test is to check if these 4 propeller bearings can properly move the plane. But right now it's just the skeleton of the plane, not the full AC-130. So to fix that, I've had the genius idea to just take some blocks of netherite and slap them down back here, because if we have advanced tooltips on, we can see the mass of the block of netherite is about 9,000 kilograms, and the mass of the light steel block that I'm going to use is 145. And then because of the data pack I use, majority of these copycat blocks are 10 kilograms. So these blocks of netherite should be able to simulate a couple hundred building blocks, which is basically the entire AC-130. I have no idea how high this should go, so I'm just going to put it up. Oh, well, I need to click this first, and then it'll assemble it, right? There we go. Oh, no. Oh, I don't have a gravitron. I don't have a gravitron. It's doing the thing again. No, get caught on something, please. Yes. Whew. There we go. I'd say that's not what I wanted, but technically it is what I wanted, just not in that way. I don't know. So the good news here is that a single propeller bearing can move the AC-130. We don't even need 4 unless we're trying to be lore accurate. But now I need to figure out what each of these needs to be set to so it moves in a clean straight line instead of, you know, whatever that interstellar rotating thing was. Oh no. Okay, a little bit of an awkward moment. I was doing some testing, wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, and my plane has disappeared. As you can see, it is nowhere to be found around here. If I put on hitboxes, still nowhere to see, so there are some commands that I can use to try to get it back. I'll see if that works, or maybe I'm rebuilding everything. The fact that when I try to do anything related to ships, it says there's no ships found is a that is a concerning message. So I think I'm reassembling this whole thing. It's time for plane building round 2, electric boogaloo. Okay, well, I think I'm back where I was for the most part. I've got all the dimensions correct again. I've got the added weight here from the netherite blocks, and then I've got all 4 propeller bearings ready to go, except this time they are all running at 48 RPM, which I'm hoping will be sufficient to cleanly move this in a straight line and not disappear again. Moment of truth, I just let it go. Okay, well, the positive is it moved in a straight line. The negative is it moved the wrong direction, but that should be as simple as just flipping each of these to be the other way. I have to stop each one though, otherwise it's gonna start spinning around. Now I have to freeze it again, reassemble all these, and then let it go again, and hopefully it'll get stuck over there. That's a win. Nice, it's moving in a perfectly straight line. It could probably be 64 RPM for when it's actually flying, move it a little bit faster, but that's not bad. Plus the plane didn't disappear for a second time, so overall an absolutely S-tier test. I guess now that the plane can actually move, it's time to make it look like an AC-130, but I have a feeling I'm gonna need a couple more reference photos than these two over here. I mean, this one is obviously doing all the heavy lifting at the moment. This one's just kind of there, but yeah, I'm gonna need a couple more. I mean, I think I have all the different angles here that I need from the plane, but guys, half of these pictures are from like departmentofdefense.gov. Having to go to government websites to get pictures of these planes for a Minecraft build. Oh man, it took a long time, but it was worth it because this is my AC-130, or most of it, and I think it looks pretty close to the reference photos. It's at least as close as I'm gonna get to those. There's obviously a lot that still needs to be added, pretty much everything to make it fly, like the propellers, the wings, the flaps, all the control surfaces, all of that needs to get added. And there's also a couple additional details. If we look over here, it's got the landing gear and it looks like most of these have a different color on the bottom. So I still have to add all that stuff in, but in general, I think this looks awesome, and hopefully if people looked at this, they would be able to tell it's an AC-130. I'll admit there's certain parts of it, especially the vertical stabilizer and I guess just some of the wings in general, where it looks maybe a little bit chunky, but I'm gonna try to spin it as a positive, and I'm gonna say it's not a chunky or chubby plane, it's just sturdy. It's a really sturdy AC-130. I keep rhyming as I'm recording this, and I don't like it. Now I just want to get this thing in the air for a test flight, which means it's time to add in all those different mechanical components it needs to actually move. It needs the propeller bearings, all the stuff to go with those propeller bearings. I think it was this direction of rotation. I don't know which it was. I'm guessing it's the bottom one, counterclockwise, and we'll find out if I'm wrong real fast. And it's gonna need some ailerons. It's definitely gonna need some elevators in the back. And then it's just gonna need a whole bunch of wings, and I don't even know how many that's gonna be. And I think technically it does just have some regular flaps on the wings, so I'll add those in too. Oh, right, and I can't forget the flaps in the vertical stabilizer. That would be bad. And last but not least, the rudder. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit it's definitely not the prettiest, but it's got pretty much everything it needs to get in the air, or at least I hope it does. The only thing that's left to do is all these different components need to get hooked up with redstone, and I really need to count because I'm pretty sure now that I'm using a rudder and I'm gonna have weaponry on here and all that, I may have one too many links for a regular controller. Oh, it might be time to break out the tweaked linked controller, which I really didn't want to do. Oh, I just counted. It's definitely going to need the tweaked linked controller. It's got, now that we've got the rudder for going left and right, and we've got the flaps for doing air braking and all of that, it's got way too many channels for the regular linked controller. The only problem is I've got no idea what's going on here. All these binds are super weird because they're made for like a gamepad, and I don't have that. So I need to see if I can remap these to other keys. I don't have a right shoulder button on my keyboard. I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, if I'm in the tweaked controller config settings, which I can get to from the menu, then here, then general configuration, if I set use custom mapping and save this, I should be able then to back out, go to controller configuration. Oh, hey, would you look at that? It's moving. That's super cool, but not what's important. I should be able to remap, hopefully, the X, Y, A, and B, and then the up, down, left, and right. I think I should have, what, like 11 buttons to work with? Maybe more? I'm gonna put the tweaked linked controller hub here, and then I can connect it with a cable, and now my brain gets to blow up because I have to select all of these with the appropriate channels and then go and remap them to what I normally have. So yeah, this is about to be rough. I think I have all the D-pad controls to the regular left, right, up and down controls, so that should be okay. Now I gotta figure out how I want to do the rest of these. You guys have no idea how much I hate this. Definitely, if you're making planes and you can stick to a regular controller, do it. Everything should be good out here now, but I'm gonna leave all these little holes so I can access the appropriate sides if I need to relink this stuff. Now it's time to go in and change all of this to be the keyboard buttons that I'm used to. Is that everything? I have the D-pad for the movement. I've got the start button for powering it. I've got the right and left shoulder buttons for the rudder. And then I've got the back button for the flaps for air braking. I think that's everything. Moment of truth. If I hold shift, the propeller should start going. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's working. Nobody panic. Although I am seeing a problem, which is the sail blocks are backwards, technically for the way it's spinning. But now if I go left, yes. Right, nice. F should be the air brakes. Yes, for slow the F down. And then left and right in the back here, we should have up. Yes. Down. Nice. And then finally the rudder, which was Q. No, that's bound to something else. Q and E? No. So this one is the only one that's not working. My Q and my E for the rudder. Yeah, so left shoulder is Q, right shoulder is E. So they must not have been linked to those ones? What? Oh my gosh, is it the wrong side? It's the wrong side. It's not these sides, it's the front and the back side. Oh. Which way turns it which way? That way turns it that way. Okay. So this would be here. Get rid of this, get rid of this, and this would be here. Hopefully that fixes it. Boom, we are in business. Whew, okay, no pressure. It's time for the test flight. It's taken a really long time to get here, and I'm just hoping I can remember all the keybinds when it comes to landing and stuff. So shift to make it move. Now we try to go up. Yes, we're getting lift. It seems pretty stable. Yeah, maybe it's got a little bit too much lift in the front. It's got really clean turning, way better than the stealth bomber. That's actually perfect. Wait, it's not going up too much in the front. It's raising a little bit, but planes are supposed to be like that. And this is great, right? Look at this. This is how AC-130s work, right? You circle around and then the guns shoot out the side. Now the big question is, I've never had a rudder before, so if I hold Q, it's not really doing much. What if we stabilize? Okay, let's stabilize, get momentum, and then okay, it kind of works. It kind of turns me to that side a little bit, but it's not really, I don't think it's really worth it. Man, this is so much better than the stealth bomber. I want to just keep flying this thing around. It's way easier to control than the stealth bomber because it's actually got vertical stabilizers and appropriate ailerons and all that good stuff. Let's see if I can do a clean landing by using the flaps for air braking. Oh, no, it's not gonna be a clean landing. Oh, wait, F. I don't think they really did much. It's finally time to handle the visuals of the plane. I made it a huge mess when I added in all the wings and flaps and stuff, so now I get to go and try and fix these and hide them and make everything look nice. There has to be a mod for copycat sail blocks. That's the one thing that's annoying me. I dyed them black. They don't look that bad, but I don't know why. There has to be. Well, I think this is about as good as I'm going to get it from a visual perspective. I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I do wish that I had copycat sail blocks because the brown part of it is bothering me. I did go and change the color on the bottom of this to try to match the photos. You can see in these that it's like a dark gray for the top, and then it's almost like a whitish gray for the bottom, presumably because looking up at it, it matches the sky, and then looking down, it's a different color. So for now, this is as good as it's going to get on the visuals. I think it looks very close to a normal AC-130. There's just one thing missing. Well, two things missing: the landing gear and the weapons. So I got to add those in and get all that hooked up. Luckily for me, I did get some pictures that are good references for the landing gear. So it's looking like on those things on the bottom side part, whatever those things are called, that is where there are two large wheels on each side, which will probably be the simple wheel. And then in the front, there's kind of like a double wheel, which will probably be the medium simple wheel. And I'm not going to start again on the medium simple wheel being smaller than the regular simple wheel, which should be a large simple wheel. I'm not going to talk about it. So if I break this and this and then put this here, I feel like that's pretty much the perfect spot. I think I can adjust a little bit where they're located with this tool. Can I move them out? Yeah. There we go. I mean, come on, guys. Look at that. You're going to tell me that that right there isn't that right there? Come on, you'd be lying. We are crushing it on the landing gear game this time. This front one's going to be a little bit awkward, but I think if I put it there and then I put another one over here, so that already looks good, but I think I got to come down from the top here. I'm pretty sure if I click around with this, I can get them closer and kind of like, yeah, like that. Well, I mean, that's perfect. Go down. Let's see how they work. Okay, they don't work. Is that because I thought this might happen? Is that because these blocks right here? Yup, it's because of these blocks right here. You know what? That's fine. Like, what if I get rid of the blocks on the other side? Will it actually stand up properly? No. I've been defeated by the landing gear yet again, but this time it has landing gear. They're just not going to do anything. So we are getting one step closer to functioning landing gear. Let's be real. Who even needs landing gear anyway? Just crash land your plane every time and then make a new one. That's what Boeing's been doing for the last couple of years, and they're totally fine. I mean, their passengers might not be fine, but Boeing is fine, and that's all that really matters, right? Last but not least, it's time to add the weapons to the AC-130, arguably the most important part. And if we look at the photo over here, the AC-130 has two different cannons on it. The front one is kind of like a smaller, I think it's a single barrel cannon, and the back one's like a 105 something howitzer. They're only on the left side because it does these kind of circling attacks where then it shoots down. I am going to put them only on the left side. I'm only using double barrel auto cannons because I love those. And it's not fully lore accurate, but I love them. So we're doing 2 of those. So I think one of them is like right here, and then one of them will be right here. Then if I remember it correctly, it's recoil spring there, breach there, and then if I could get out of here, it's a couple of these barrels out, but not too many. Otherwise it'll blow itself up. So maybe this is enough-ish, sort of. I always forget. Is it this side? Yes, this side is the one that assembles it. Perfect. Oh, tell me. No, it's definitely not going to shoot this, right? Surely it's not going to shoot this because this is not an actual block. There's no way. I refuse to believe it. I just got to give this projectile an impact fuse. You know what? I actually do want to make one more since I want one with a tracer tip. So we'll just get this. There we go. I should be good to just toss this into the creative ammo container, put the tracer there. We'll do a tracer every 2 rounds. Now I can put this one on there and that's better. There we go. Oh yeah, I also moved this autocannon 1 block to the left so that it's not in line at all with the propeller. I don't think it would have hit it and destroyed it, but I'm too afraid to test that out. I've put in too much work for an explosive round to go off right here. So this is where we're at now. And I'm back to doing more linking because as you can see, there aren't already enough lines linking all this stuff. So which one do I want it to be? Maybe button guide. I don't think I've used this one yet. So that's the front here and the front here. And the guide button is going to be space. Please don't destroy anything else. Does it move the plane? Does it give like momentum? What? Oh my God, I never knew that. And nothing is blowing up at the moment, which is good. The one problem I will acknowledge with these is normally you would have people, I think, sitting like right here at a control system where they can move these and target stuff. And I mean, I would have that if I had any friends. No, I'm just messing with you guys. I got a ton of friends. What I meant to say is if I had any friends that I trusted to operate any kind of weaponry ever. And that I don't have. I don't trust any of my friends with that. So for each of these, I think I can use a hand crank to just turn them. I want to turn them down a little bit. So does this, what? I can't move it at all. It's overstretched. Okay. Okay, so the creative motor normally moves it up. I need to move it down, and I need to do that slowly. So if I just grab out a shaft here, I think I set this to like 10 in the other direction. What about that? Yeah, that looks good. I feel like that looks good. The very last bit of detail I want to add to make sure that these cannons are as accurate as they can be while I'm already making them not accurate, is they each have some black stuff around them, presumably so that they can move left and right and up and down. I am going to add a little bit of a black outline around these. It's just not going to be super big. You know, it's not much, but I like it. And this is my AC-130. The only thing left to do is give it a final official test flight. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And we're up. Nice. It's looking very stable, even with the additions. Now we start circling, and this is when the guns would start going, or the cannons would start going. Yes! Is anything on the plane blowing up? It's not. That is the perfect sign. I love it. Oh, I think we're getting a little bit too high. Little bit too high. I'm getting distracted by the guns. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I can't stop blowing stuff up. I don't know, guys. I think I might have a problem. Is there like an Alcoholics Anonymous except for people who like to blow stuff up? And I'm not. Oh my cat. Oh no, she's gonna like rub all over the mic and stuff. No, no, no.